Hi everyone, it's Nikki here from the Eat Well project again, and we are going to be making carrot cake muffins today. They're pretty healthy because they've got carrot in and they've got raisins in and some orange zest. So a really healthy recipe. So here they are, guys. This is what you're going to be making. An iced as well at the end. Now, some of you at some of the schools I've been working at, for instance, Dot Hill, Lady Grove, Randley, Appley Wood and Captain Webb, you would have tried these delicious carrot cake muffins, so you will know how lovely they are. So let's get started with our carrot cake muffins. So the first thing we've got to do, everyone, is wash these things. So let's have a look at the ingredients that we're going to use in the carrot cake muffins. So first of all, you'll need 12 muffin cases. And then sugar. I've cut this down to 150 grams of sugar. Now I didn't have, it says white light soft brown, I didn't have very much of that, so I put some dark in that. If you haven't got that, you can use caster sugar, use granulated sugar, you probably could even use demerara, so whatever you've got in the cupboard. There's 200 millilitres there of sunflower oil. You could use rapeseed oil as well, or vegetable oil. 3 eggs. I've got 225 grams of grated carrot. I've got the zest, that's just the outside, that's the orangey bit of an orange. I've got 75 grams of raisins. If you haven't got any raisins, you could use sultanas. And then I've got 175 grams of self-raising flour. Now if you haven't got self-raising flour, you could use plain and put some baking powder in, probably about a teaspoon. And then I've got half a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. If you don't like too much cinnamon, probably cut that down. And then I've got here, and this is optional, 175 grams of icing sugar, which I'm just going to add some water to make an icing for the top, but that is very much optional. So the first job to do, guys, is to pop your 12 muffin cases into a muffin tin. Now if you don't have a muffin tin, you can use a pate tin, or you could even just put them on a baking sheet. They'll probably come out fine, so don't worry too much about that. So let's get started on putting the ingredients in. So I'm going to put my sugar in first into a big bowl. So in that goes. And then I am going to put my oil in, just tip it all in. And then I've got 3 eggs, so I've already cracked 2. So just to show you again, the way I do it is I get a knife, the blunt part, hold the egg in my left hand because I'm right-handed, just give it a few taps, and hopefully then instead of pushing, you pull it apart and out it comes. If you've got any shell, just get it out, it doesn't matter. And then just get yourself a fork and give it a nice little beat. Don't need to be too fussy. And in that goes. And then what we're going to do is with a wooden spoon, if you haven't got a wooden spoon, any sort of spoon will do, guys, and just give it a bit of a stir. Now some of the sugar, especially if you're using soft brown or dark, it can be a bit lumpy. Don't worry too much about it. It will come out. We'll probably give it a better beat when the flour goes in. So that's that. So what we're going to add next is we're going to add our carrot, because it wouldn't be carrot cake without carrot. And obviously this is one of our 5 a day. There's quite a bit there, so probably each bun would have at least, I would say for children, half a portion of your 5 a day, perhaps slightly less. So we'll just pop that in, give it a little stir, and then we're going to put the zest of our orange, and then you could eat the orange that's left, and that's another portion. In that goes, and give it a stir, and then we're going to put our raisins in as well. So all they go in. Give it a nice big stir now, and this will break those sugar lumps down if we have it. There are, it doesn't look very appetising at the moment, but it will be delicious. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my sieve, just pop it over the top, and I'm going to put my self-raising flour in, and I'm going to put my nutmeg on the top, and I'm going to put my cinnamon, and lastly I'm going to put my bicarbonate of soda, and then sieve that all in, and that'll mix it all in lovely. As you can see, oh look, I've got a few lumps. I'll get myself a spoon and just push them in. That's it. And then I'm just going to stir that together. It's quite a loose liquid that you make, so don't worry too much about that. Whoop. Nikki's getting it everywhere. That's all part of the fun though, guys, isn't it? So round we go. And look at that, guys. We have already made our carrot cake muffins, and they smell delicious. So I'm just going to take the wooden spoon out now. You could pour this into a jug if you wanted to make it easier, or I've got an ice cream scoop, so I'm just going to show you what I do. But if you haven't got an ice cream scoop, that's not a problem. Just give it a quick clean, we don't want to waste anything. So we'll get our muffin cases there, and I'm going to get my ice cream scoop, and I'm going to put one in each and evenly distribute it. So probably be about 1.5, I would have said, into each one. They do rise up a little bit, so you don't want to overfill them, but then again you do want a really nice portion. So now they're all filled. As you can see, they're about 3/4. I've evenly distributed it. So it goes into an oven of about 180 Celsius, 160 fan and gas mark 4, about 25 to 30 minutes. Don't overbake them though. So if you're not sure about your oven, put them on about 20 minutes. We're looking for when they spring back. So we'll have a look when they're cooked. Whilst the carrot cakes are cooking, we could then make our simple icing sugar. You can make a runny one and run it over, or you can make a thicker one. You could do a frosting if you wanted to, which would be cream cheese and icing sugar, but I'm just going to do a very simple one. I'm going to sieve the icing sugar to make a dust storm now. Sometimes you get a few lumps in icing sugar. As you can see, I'm in a bit of a dust cloud now. And then just quickly do that. I've got 175 grams of icing sugar there. If you just tap the bowl, it takes it all the way down. And get my spoon, and then I've got some cold water. Now you could use the juice of the oranges that you took the zest off. You can have a right tangy topping, or you could use lemon juice if you wanted to. I'm just going to use plain cold water. So just put in on your spoon first, probably no more than about half a tablespoon, and then keep mixing. Now I'm going to do, I'll probably do a thick one to start with, and then do an all over covering, and then I'll make it a bit runnier, and we'll do a couple for runny as well. So we're going to put probably about the same again, about that much. If you put too much in, you can always add some more icing sugar to it. So I think that's still a bit powdery, so this will be the 3rd tablespoon. So that's 3 tablespoons into our icing sugar. So I think that's quite a runny one. So if I wanted it any thicker, I'd just add some more icing sugar to that for a thicker consistency. So that's more like a drizzling one. Okay, so we'll leave it like that, and we'll just wait for the carrot cakes to come out of the oven. So here they are, guys. They've just literally come out of the oven. They've had 20 minutes in my oven, and they look done to me. So I'm going to see if they are, and the best way to test that is to see if they spring back. So you lightly touch them in the middle, and if it springs back like a sponge, which that does, they're done. So I'm going to let them cool for a little while now, and then we'll ice them. The exciting bit, guys. So they've cooled down, and I've made, as you know, a runny icing, and I did add a little bit more icing sugar and made a thicker icing. Let's have a look at the runny one first. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to get some, and I'm just going to make a bit of a drizzly mess. Something like that. So if you don't want too much icing sugar on it, you can just do that. Something like that. For that one. So we'll pop that one on the plate. Or, let's take a pink one this time, guys. You can get the thicker icing. As you can see, it really is thick. And then you can do it all over. And if you have got some modelling paste, sugar modelling paste, you might want to make a few carrots and pop them on top, or you might want to colour your icing. If you've got any icing colouring, you could do some orange icing or some green icing for the carrots and the leaves, however you want it. So there are 2 different examples that you could have in your icing. Okay, so here comes the great bit, the bit I love, guys, is I'm going to try them. So shall I try the one with all the icing and the pink one? So let's have a look. They smell absolutely delicious. So let's see Wow, look at that. Okay. Oh wow. They are something else, guys. You really need to try those. Again, delicious.